course, I want to start off giving all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, SOT-𐤉𤐉𤄒𝐉𝐄, which I said in ancient Hebrew tongue is giving all honor, glory, and praise unto the Heavenly Father by way of his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly knows as Jesus Christ. I hope this video finds you well and of good mind, sound body, and spirit. This is gonna be a quick lesson, just something that I've been marinating on, just had on my mind for a minute, and something that came back to my mind because of some events that went on today. And of course, today we're just gonna speak on a bit of emotional maturity, right? And dealing with one's emotions and not allowing your emotions to control you, right? And that's something that we all have to work on as a people, learning how to not be so stuck in our perception of situations and allowing our emotions to rule and dictate how we see things, opposed to inclining ourselves to the understanding of facts and truth, as well as putting our emotions aside to deal with true understanding and deal with, I guess, how do I say this? Deal outside of how we feel about a situation, but deal with the situation for what it is. Excuse me, Salakia. Just had a little bit of food. I'm getting a few burps. Salakia, y'all. Excuse me. But, that goes into, like I'm saying, just to give an example of a situation I had today at work, right? If you don't know, I work at Chick-fil-A. It's pretty high paced, and it's high volume work in the service industry. It's my job to deal with people all day. So that means I'm dealing with customers. I have to deal and communicate with my coworkers, and I have to deal and communicate with, just people. And what that comes with is being able to incline myself to others' emotions, their feelings, and being able to deal with them and cut through their emotions and feelings to make sure that they get what they need, right? And even as sometimes I have to invoke and play to their emotions and feelings, right? But in this particular case today, I was dealing with one of my coworkers, right? And today I was outside taking orders, and what my position was today was I was an outside leadership. So that means my job is I basically oversee the outside, and I make sure that the cars are always moving down, that we're getting orders in efficiently, effectively. And I was kind of just the primary man responsible for the outside for this particular day. And, my position at the job is I'm just a team member, right? So that's the lowest on the leadership chain. And of course, if they're gonna be putting me in these positions, I'm gonna need some more bread from Chick-fil-A. Don't worry, Israel, I'm gonna get my money, all right? I'm not gonna be doing all this leadership work and y'all not gonna be paying me for it. I already done talked to them, all right? But I am showing them that I'm gonna be worth my wage, and I've proven it time and time again. Right, because they always got to be testing and trying to see if you're going to be worth your wage, Israel, and prove and show that you the top nation. Just show them you the top nation, and they're going to give you your bread. But I was kind of in this leadership position today, and one of my coworkers, he is higher up on the leadership chains, right? He's more of a manager, right? But he usually is a manager for the back, but just so happens because we need a little bit of extra hands outside, they slided him outside, right? Now, even though he's a manager in the back, I'm pretty cool with him. He wasn't doing the things he needed to be doing outside, and that's understandable. He usually is not out there, but it's very simple, and as a manager, he should have gone through that training to understand it, right? But I was just doing my job. There's no emotions into it. It's not me singling him out. It's not me pressuring him and trying to nag him. But that's how he took it, right? So what needed to happen is we need to make sure that the gaps between each cars are as tight as possible. That way we can continuously keep in the line moving. But he would not do that. He would take an order and he would stay there, and then there'd be a huge gap between the cars, and there would be like 10. No, I'm exaggerating a bit. Maybe about 5, 6 cars behind one car, and those cars, once it gets past 2 and 3, it starts to wrap around the building. Right? It may not be easy for you to see, but if you've ever been in a drive-through line that goes around the building, that's maybe about 10 cars in total, but it only starts after those 2 or 3 where it starts to wrap, right? And so the way to mitigate that would be to pull up our cars as close as possible, and then also have our team on the other side. We're order takers. Our team on the other side are the food delivery people, right? And so they deliver the food. And we work together by them always keeping the line moving on their side and us keeping the line moving on our side. But that can't work if we have those gaps. We got to continuously keep them moving, continuously keep them pushing up, right? And so I would tell him, like, hey, man, can you pull down your car? Just like that. Very simple. Hey, can you pull down your car? Anytime I seen him, he's just sitting there. He's doing his thing. And what it is he's trying to finish it fast. And I'm like, I see him doing it, and I try to give a little mercy, but still, it's like now when the cars start to stack, I gotta say something because I'm gonna be held accountable, right? Because I'm the man outside. You see what I'm saying? So they're gonna be in my ear on the headset saying, tell lane 2 to pull your cars down. Tell lane 1 to pull their cars down. And if he's in lane 2 and he's not doing the thing, I got to do my thing. You feel me? And what ends up happening is he gets mad. He gets frustrated. Mind you, he's a 30-something-year-old brother. He's a grown man and he got a daughter. And he's a good guy, but he couldn't keep his emotions in check. And just because I told him the right thing to do on the job, now he wants to clown me. He wants to mock me. He wants to disrespect me to my face, right? And to invoke a reaction out of me, right? To get me mad because he's mad. How can you tell me what to do outside and you're rushing me? You're not making my job fun anymore. All I'm doing is my job, right? He's letting those feelings take him over, right? And so you know what he does? He starts mocking me. And I get a little upset, right? But I remember, I can't let his feelings and how he perceives the situation to now dictate how I'm going to perceive the situation. He perceives it as me just nagging him and being on him and not giving him any time, while I'm perceiving the situation as they're in my ear telling me to tell you to pull your cars down. It's not even really me. I have to answer to my leadership, the same leadership you would have to answer to, because we're a team. We're supposed to work together, right? But you're letting your emotions overcome you. But instead of me getting in my feelings about his nagging and his mocking, you know what I did? When he did that, I just looked at him. I said nothing. He was expecting a reaction. I gave him no reaction. And you know what that prompted him to do? That prompted him to look at his situation and look at what he's doing. And he stopped for a second. Like when I genuinely just looked at him, he stopped for a second. He was like, and he had to think. Like he was appalled that I wasn't doing anything back. And so he said, then he finally asked the question. He said, because I didn't tell him at first. I didn't tell him I was outside lead, right? Because he had just came outside and started doing the thing. I didn't tell him that I was the man responsible for the outside. And then he was like, are you outside lead? And I said, yep. And then I proceeded to just go ahead and tell him the responsibilities and the expectation that he needs outside. And I told him, if you feel like I'm nagged, it's really just me trying to hold you to the responsibilities that we need outside. I'm not going to nag you anymore, and I'm not going to tell you. I've told you what's required of you, and if you're going to do it or not, it's up to you. I'm not going to put my feelings in it. But I'm going to let you do what you're going to do, because when they come to me and ask why your cars weren't pulled down, I'm going to say, I told him to pull it down. I gave him the expectations, and he didn't do it. But after I allowed him to go through those steps, after I didn't respond to his taunt, and he's able to now perceive why I'm doing the things that I'm doing, and I gave him that full understanding there, now he's pulling his cars down. I don't even gotta say anything to him. Now he's doing the job that he knows how to do. Now he's relaxed, he's chill. He stops mocking me. And for the rest of the day, he don't even talk to me. He's chilling. And we're good. Because that's what happens when we allow our emotions to control us. They give us a false perception of a situation, which makes us want to move in haste to a comfortable direction and course of action that ultimately is not wise. What is the wisdom in provoking me to anger? If he's going to mock me and I get mad, now me and him fighting back and forth, now guess what? Now both of us ain't doing our job. We're in a tit for tat, being petty over a freaking job that is not even that important, just to pay the bills. But that's the thing, Israel. We got to be able to analyze even the smallest of situations and see the biggest of pictures out of that, right? That way we can have a better perception of how we can move and grow in this world. And you can't be like the world in how they move based upon how they feel, right? This book of Proverbs, chapter 25 and verse 28. He that have no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. If you can't rule your spirit, you can't rule yourself, you're like a city that is always vulnerable to attack. You have no line of defense, right? You have no walls about you, no way to keep you from being attacked and overtaken by these things. What that looks like in your emotions is, if you have no rule over your spirit, you become angry and you do things out of anger. And then you make the excuse, well, I was mad. Well, guess what? If you're mad, does that now give you a license to sin? If you're mad, does that now give you an excuse for the things that you've done, right? If being in your emotions now take precedent over doing what is right? This book of Ephesians, chapter 4, and verse 26. Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath, neither give place to the devil. Verse 27. Don't let your anger consume you to the point of sin. It's fine to be angry, right? Remember, when he was mocking me, I got angry. But guess what? I didn't sin. Sin would be holding a grudge against the brother, seeking retaliation against the brother, seeking to harm my brother, right? Being against my brother and turning that anger into hatred against my brother, right? Or in any situation, allowing your emotions to consume you, and now you're doing things that are not of God, right? Giving place to the devil when you allow your emotions to overtake you and now leading you into sin. Oh, I did it because I felt like this. I did it because I felt like that. And guess what? Now you're sinning because you've allowed your feelings to overtake you. Right? But you can't move like that. You have to have emotional maturity to be able to stop, analyze the situation, put down your emotions, and move in wisdom, right? It's Proverbs 16 in verse 32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. It is greater for you to be able to slow yourself down, let go of those emotions, than for you to be a mighty man, to be great at combat and war, to be able to besiege a city. It is greater for you to be able to analyze yourself and your emotions and be like, you know what, I'm getting angry. I'm getting real angry. Be able to say that, but then be like, and put it down and then move in wisdom. It's better for you to be able to do that than to be one who can pick up a sword and take a city. Because when you don't dictate your actions by your emotions, you dictate your actions by wisdom. And when you dictate your actions by wisdom, now you can do things that are not only going to be justified, but now they're going to be the best and most efficient outcome. Because when you do things in your anger, you are going to be doing things that can lead you to sin. And there is no justification for it. You can't justify you murder a man because you was mad. You can't justify that. Oh, he dissed me. I had to get it back in blood. He stepped on your shoes, brother. And you slayed him? He called you a name, brother. And you killed him? He taught another doctrine. And you besieged him? He made you mad and you sought to kill him. There is no justification for that. To murder a man in your anger like that? You can't be moving like that. Because now you have blood on your hands in your anger, but now you've done something that is irreversible. You've taken someone's life. And I'm talking about, I'm talking to a point that is a bit extreme, going into like murder and stuff. That's like the very worst thing that could happen from your anger, but it could go into any kind of way, right? You sisters, you lean too much into your feelings, or you brothers, you lean too much into your feelings. You start stepping out on your marriages, going for you brothers making marriages with other women, not considering your families, or you sisters going and committing adulteries against your husband, not considering their feelings, and your feelings. That's why you're doing it. You're not moving in wisdom and saying, you know what, I'm a married woman, so I should remain in my husband's house. I don't care if I'm a bit unhappy right now. I don't care if things are not the best situation. Maybe I should pray, I should fast, and I should put my emotions down for a minute and maybe seek counsel from the elders of my camp and see how I can better the situation of my household. Or for you brothers, like, hey, you know, I love my rib, but there's the girl on the side, man. I don't know if I want to bring her into this thing fully, but she real good on the side, man. But I don't know how my wife would react to that, so I'm gonna just keep it on the low. And you know, she gonna be all right. You know, she'll get it when she'll understand when the time comes. Like, not even considering her, right? How it can affect the dynamic of the household. That's why when it comes to your emotions, you gotta have rule over that thing. And yeah, you're gonna be mightier for it. Right? But that's my lesson today, Israel. We gotta be able to learn how to move not in our feelings and situations, but move in wisdom in situations. Learn how to swallow our pride, because that's really what it is. That's really what it is. It's pride. Pride, the scriptures say, pride from contention cometh pride. So all contention cometh from pride, meaning that anytime there's a problem, anytime there's contention, anytime there's a situation, it's because someone had been proud in some way. And so there is a situation. Whether it had been you were proud, now you're lying. Whether you have been proud and now you're stealing, now you're killing, now you're hating against your brother. Now you're not in the spirit. You're not loving to your husband. You're not loving to your wife. Right? You're not loving to your nation. It's because of pride. That feeling of pride, allowing that emotion to overcome you, and now you're not moving in the spirit. But that's my lesson, man. Of course, I want to once again give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh by Hashem Mashiach Yahushai. SOT-𐤉𤒄𝐉𝐄 with Sons of Thunder. Shalom.